But imagine in DOA5, say like if I invite you, Alex, you're in the game with me, we're training or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then let's just say, oh, let's invite 6 other people to watch us train. They can watch us train in the background, text and chat while stuff is going on, and then say, oh, Nelson, I'm tired. I want to take a 30-minute break. All right, so then I bring in Demizzle. He swaps out for your place, and now you're sitting spectating, watching us. So this leads
Mm-hmm.
this leads
Now,
us
that's
yeah,
good.
this leads us to a whole new aspect. Like I don't want to really mention this because then this considers like illegal and somewhat in the form of gambling. But I'll keep that on a closed shush for now.
uh, well, to jump in on that, with the new online training, they took what Street Fighter Cross Tekken kind of introduced and took it to another level.
Right.
All right. So with the expansion of the online training, me and Demizzle are really good in DOA. Like we've been rivals since DOA 2, 3, 4, and now going into 5. It's something where now everybody has free access to training with some of the big names in that game. And, I was talking to Shinwar the other day, and it was something where, he has this philosophy. He doesn't want people to see how he trains. I get that. But you know what'll happen? If you go to a major tournament and somebody watches how you play, no matter what, one day we're all going to get exposed. We have our trade secrets and, it's just now everybody is at the same level in terms of access to information. So if you want to be good, if you put in a lot of work, you go and you watch these guys doing online training like the replay channel and Cross Tekken and Street Fighter 4 and just going and looking people up. It's just it's the wave of the future. So, Demizzle, you want to shine some light on this before we move on to the next topic?
What it sounds like is just they expanded the watch mode from DOA4, because like in DOA4 you can get like as many people as a lobby can hold. I think it's 16.
Yeah.
But you can have 2 active players and just have them go at it and have everybody else just watch the match. And that's what it sounds like they did. But instead of having people that you invite, you can pretty much look up somebody that you want to see this time and be like, hey, can I sit in on a session? And that's pretty much what they did. So they just expanded the watch mode from what it sounds like.
Yeah, but this also brings the creativity to the point where, as I wasn't trying to mention, for the people who, as you say, top tier or stuff like that, you can actually make it. This is like easy mode for like, book for dummies type of easy mode where you can record your training sessions and make them into actual tutorial videos and actually have live tutorial videos at the same time. Mind you, while you're training all these people, if you want to take it to that next level, you can actually start charging people by the hour while you're watching everyone swoop in and swoop out, trying out and learning all these moves. So this is a source for us as the community to branch off and learn quicker. Not only that, but to make a quick buck. So
this is true too. People are trying to make their grind in the world.
Like, hey, join Nelson's dojo and you'll learn how to get badass with Tina in like 3 days.
More or less.
Yeah, well, and if you fight me and Demizzle in DOA, we can train y'all on some cheap stuff, right, Demizzle?
Man, y'all gotta fight
much,
me.
man.
Y'all gotta fight me in DOA. Yeah. Oh man, my Bayman. What?
You know what? You want to bring it? Let's do this. Let's do
I
this.
still have
DOA tonight, baby.
DOA4.
I got DOA 4.
DOA4 just waiting in the library.
I got DOA 4 right
speaking
here.
of which, let me explain something. The DOA tag system for 3D fighters should have been the standard. I was hoping Cross Tekken was going to borrow a lot from this, but obviously it didn't. But it did. I think what Cross Tekken did was try to mix that with Marvel's Superheroes versus Street Fighter in a way, or Marvel versus Capcom 1. But I just wish that they took more feedback on that, because DOA, their tag system is so quick. Like, you do a move, you throw somebody in, and out of nowhere, instant, bam, Ian comes in and throws like a kick or something. You know what I mean? It's exciting, it's quick, it's flashy, but within the confines of stable gameplay. So I'm looking forward to DOA5 and the online training. It's gonna be something to see. All right. So shifting gears to our last two topics, I'm gonna try and combine everything. But Persona 4, why is it, in my opinion, the best fighting game currently out right now? Why is that like the most interesting fighting game out right now? So Nelson, I'm gonna give you the floor, and then Demizzle, because I know Demizzle. I don't know if you played it just yet, but that
I
is a
played a
really
little
good
bit.
game. All right, so Nelson, what are your thoughts on that comment?
Well, Persona 4 right now, in my opinion, is the best fighter out in the market as of right now until, future titles come out. But it brings you not only the fighting aspect of it, but it's the continuation of what Persona 4 left off at in its RPG. So in the sense, fans who play the RPG, they can still continue on the story and then also have the fighting aspect of it. The core game is very
Hmm.
similar to Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear, where it has, bursts, you have, one more cancels, you have super cancels, you have I guess you could say like a mini rage meter when your health hits about to like 30%, your super meter bar
Hmm.
extends to 150, and it actually teaches you timing. It doesn't like lack on it. It gives you many tools to learn as of like, okay, say like when you're making a consecutive combo, your number of hit confirms stays in red. But when you break that combo and you know it's not, acceptable no more, it will flicker yellow, meaning that it can be broken out at any time. Same thing with the blue
And that is
same
awesome.
thing with the blue meter.
Yeah, that is a cool
With
thing.
the blue meter that I
Hmm.
was telling you about the other night, Alex, is that it gives you a time frame of how long that move will last until the opponent is able to air recovery or ground recovery from the combo. So it wants you to learn timing and pacing, and it gives you a whole like diversity of different characters. You have charge characters, quarter circle forward characters, a mixture of both. Some characters are more of like a shooting type where you can run away and pace yourself. And also that I like,
And even with the shooting types, you have the King of Fighter style evade.
right.
So if they're trying to do like beams and stuff, you still have an option to get around that. Not to mention how it has like a JoJo's Adventure style system where you have your persona, which is in JoJo's Adventure is like your stand. So you can do persona breaks, like if you hit their persona at a precise time, like the game is just really balanced, and I think what Nelson was electing to. The game teaches you so much. It's like, okay, it wants you to learn, and they only have one training wheel tool, which is the auto combo on the X button, right,
Yeah,
Nelson?
that's right. That's the only thing that they allow people to come in as a casual person is to mash on the X button, and then if you have like about 50 meter, you're able to unleash a super on top of that. But the thing that I love the most now, which I'm very grateful for, Negative Edge is back when it comes to the fact that you stay running
Thank you.
away. If you run away consistently, not only will your character's defense be reduced significantly, but your super meter gauge will start to deplete for your course of action of running away.
Guilty Gear style,
Yep,
just like Guilty Gear.
that's to me
So
is one
I
of the
mean,
best things.
the thing is, even though you can still play a turtle style, I mean, if you're good at what you do, regardless of having a penalty on your super meter and your defense, you'll still be able to win. But the game, it has all the tools to help you not get caught in long string OTGs and all kinds of bullshit like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. All right, but before we shift to our last topic, Demizzle, what are your thoughts on Persona 4?
I think it has the potential to be like if you can get more exposure because the Persona RPG is like a very, very hardcore RPG, even amongst RPG gamers. I've like played it in like I think I've played the first two, haven't really checked out the third one, but it's a really hardcore RPG. So if they can get the name out there and if they can get exposure at tournaments, I think it could be really, really good because from what I played, even though my playtime isn't as expansive as yours and Nelson, it really did remind me of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because I did like the stand-in attacks from JoJo's Adventure, and they had the Persona attacks, and the game is like, it's possibly like the least cheap fighting game I've played in the last 10 years, hands down.
I agree. I agree. Even like when I was fighting the final boss in there, and I was like, okay, man, this is. At first, I didn't know what I was doing, but once I understood, it's like, okay, if I lost to the boss, it's because I made the mistake, and it wasn't because of some crazy balance issue, you know. But I've only had the game for a couple of days. Nelson and I are going to be doing like stream fights, but I highly recommend nMo fans, fighting game league fans, get Persona 4. It's a solid fighter. I'm almost as satisfied with it as I was with Skullgirls when I first started playing that with Nelson.
Yep.
So it's very, very good, very solid game. All right. So final topic before we log off. We saw a video with Gutex on eventhubs talking about the status of Cross Counter Live and how it's possibly overkill for their type of production. Now, I am going to play devil's advocate. I somewhat agree with Gutex because me, as the CEO of nMo and Nelson, CEO of Fighting Game League, I understand why doing certain things might be overkill because I was approached by several personnel to try and do something at that level. But here's the thing. If we don't have the sponsorships that we do have, if they're not paying the bills, you know what I mean? It's like it would be like a harsh undertaking because a lot of that would have to come out of our pockets. And when we're like talking about donations, it's not for us to pocket the money. No, it's to try and make the thing grow where it's not like really hitting us in the wallet. So, I mean, I get that you know, when Anomaly and I started nMo, yeah, it was for the passion of it. We weren't really looking for pay. And even to this day, we're not. It's just that, okay, if it's going to grow, it's going to require finances. It's going to require resources. And if you don't have that, and, we have the fan support, just like when you're watching TV and they got like a movie on or a football game on, people are paying for commercial time. The companies paying for the commercials are paying like the NFL or ABC or NBC or wherever you live or who's watching this. They are paying the broadcast companies for time. We don't have commercials like that. You know what I mean? So with Cross Counters, it was sponsored or it's Capcom. Like I was under the impression that Capcom was actually helping Cross Counter, but if that wasn't the case, then I understand his position on kind of cutting back, because just like how nMo, which predates Cross Counter, was doing this stuff out of my mom's room years ago, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, if we can do it on our own, then why do the extra and we still have the viewership, you know? So I'm kind of for him, but I'm also like, hey, you gotta make sure we're doing this for the right reasons too. If you're only doing things like this solely for money, then you're in the wrong business. Because you have to remember that it comes for a love and a passion of broadcasting a show with the interest that you love and hold dear. I love fighting games. I love UFC. I love WWE. When we do talk about it, I mean, it's just, you got to do it for the right reasons. And that's why I was talking about foundation. If you have a strong foundation, like we have with Fighting Game League, nMo, hopefully Salty Gamers with Mike Hurdle, we can all create something to stand on. And if we're doing it right and enjoying it at the same time, if the money start coming in, it won't feel like work. It won't feel like stress or anything. So, Nelson, I'm going to give you the floor, then Demizzle, and then we're going to log off.
All right.
So, Nelson, what are your response to that?
To more or less of the cross counter team, they just need to learn how to slow it down, because they mainly are trying to keep up to be like the world leading news for the fighting game community. I understand that, but there's a certain limit. I mean, if you guys are not getting paid from either SRK, Capcom, or any other sponsorship, and you're doing this out of your own pocket, mind you, their production quality is ridiculous. They're using actual in-studio productions. They're not doing this in a house or nothing. They actually have like a little studio with all this shit there. And that costs money. We're talking about anywhere from
Yeah, you got to rent the space.